So I am at Blue Tokai Coffee, which is in Saket, New Delhi, and waiting for my flat white. And I thought I would take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about the distinction between good and bad and good and evil. And the crucial principle for Nietzsche of ressentiment, which is sometimes translated as resentment, but is really best if we just leave it in the French, which he himself used, ressentiment. It means something like resentment. Let's start with ressentiment. The idea behind ressentiment can be captured pretty well by Aesop's fable of the fox and the sour grapes. You remember the fable? The fox sees some delicious looking grapes and he leaps to get them and he misses, and he leaps again to get them and misses, and then he leaps a third time to get them and misses. And when he realizes that no matter how delicious those grapes are, he's never going to be able to get them, despite the fact of how desperately he wants those grapes. Strange little grape-eating fox that he is. Maybe maybe foxes were different, or maybe grapes were different in Greece back in the 5th and 4th centuries BC. He walks away saying to himself, well, they were probably sour anyway. This, in a nutshell, is the principle of ressentiment. The question of how we change our disposition towards things which we would otherwise naturally want, because we recognize that they are things we cannot get. Things that are not accessible to us, things that are beyond our reach or beyond our power to obtain. So Nietzsche says, imagine the following thought experiment. And all of this is a thought experiment. There are some Nietzsche scholars who think that Nietzsche means the great transvaluation of values, which is accomplished by Christianity, as a kind of piece of quasi-history, a historical narrative that is taking place beneath the history of the actual events that transformed the West from a Greco-Roman system of values to a Christian system of values. But for our purposes, and I think for the purposes of good thinking about Nietzsche and what he's up to, what he wants us to learn from his work, from his writing on this subject, let's consider it a thought experiment in the same sense that we would take Rawls's Veil of Ignorance to be a thought experiment, or any of the many other thought experiments with which you are probably familiar in philosophy. So this is the thought experiment. Imagine that there is a table of values where all of the things to which the body is naturally drawn, to which the human spirit is naturally drawn, are quite unsurprisingly valued as good. So what would that table of values look like? Well, we would think that money was good. We would think that power was good. We would think that food was good. We would think that pride was good. We would think that friends were good. All of the things towards which we are, as human beings, as the natural beings that we are, quite normally, familiarly, and all of us in our own individual lives, perfectly naturally attracted.